If it has drama, if the characters are in shambles, that's my cup of tea. Is this gonna be my favorite book? And we're back. So, not gonna lie to you, it's been a good minute. And if this is your first time here, you have no idea what the heck I'm talking about. But if you saw my last video, which was posted nearly almost 2 months ago, I literally said in that video, I'm going to be more consistent. I'm gonna start posting a lot again. And here we are. But today, we're not only gonna be doing my August wrap up, we're also gonna be doing my July wrap up because I didn't do a July wrap up video. And I love these wrap up videos. I love talking about the books that I read because like I can actually like have an opinion on it since I read it. And then I love like doing my delusional TBR, like making a long list knowing I won't read it. Like, it's crazy I didn't do that for the month of July. But because I'm doing 2 wrap-ups in one video, I decided not to put my delusional TBR in this video. And I know I usually do that, but I'm not gonna do it in this video. Instead, you're gonna get the July wrap-up, the August wrap-up, and then we're gonna do a mini book haul because I have accumulated some books, you know, since I've been MIA. I've gotten some books and I want to show you guys books. You can actually see one of the books a million back. But yeah, I want to show you those books and then we're going to talk about the books that I have read. But you know, enough talking, let's get into the video. So starting with July, obviously, the first book I read was Binding 13. And this is a big deal. I have been talking about wanting to read this book since I got this book in actually 2021. That's why I have the OG cover. I have been waiting to read it. The only reason I haven't read it is because the font is ridiculously small and I have astigmatism. I can't be doing all that. But I DNF'd. And I know the girlies love this book. I know people say, oh, this is such a romance with heartbreak and drama. And that's what got me excited because if a romance has heartbreak, if it has drama, if the characters are in shambles, that's my cup of tea. I may be toxic, I don't care, but I love that. I think I read like the first 150 pages. This book did not give me romance with all this like serious heartbreaking drama. Maybe it did become that, but the first 150 pages was giving me a taste of what this would be and I didn't like what it would be. Let me start with the main point. This is a YA book, correct? So why every sentence, because the main characters is this guy named Johnny and this girl named Shannon. The main character, Johnny, any single time it was his point of view, when I tell you every 5 seconds he was talking about his body. And I'm just like, you know, I've never been a teenage boy, so I don't know if they think like that, but every sentence was something sexual. And I was like, bro, ain't this supposed to be a YA book? Why are we getting so sexual like right off the bat? It's kind of weird. And even like their connection, like Shannon and Johnny's connection, the first 150 pages, it was like so like cliche. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. It was so cliche. It was like, oh my gosh, we ran into each other. Who's this mysterious girl? She's new here. Oh, she has a dark secret, a dark past. I just want to protect her even though I know nothing about her. What are we doing? I don't know. I just feel like maybe if I was 13, I would have ate this up. And you know, someone did tell me that before I read the book. They were like, you're probably not really gonna like it because this is very YA. But then I saw grown people reading it. So I was like, you know what? It's gonna be fine. No, I feel like this is something I should have read when I was 13. I probably would have ate it up. I probably would have burst into tears. I probably would have been in love with Johnny. But reading it at my grown age, I don't know. Shannon and Johnny were just annoying. But I didn't even tell you what the book was about. Let me tell you what it's about. So this book follows Shannon and Johnny. Shannon transfers to this private school where Johnny attends. He's like they play rugby. He's like, I don't know rugby position, so I'm just gonna say he's like the quarterback. He's like the big dog or whatever. So he's like really popular and stuff. And then Shannon transfers to that school because the school she used to go to, she was basically getting picked on all her life, bullied, and then she got into like a physical altercation. So that's my cat's automatic feeder, so you might hear him munching because for some reason cats act like they've never eaten a day in their life. But yeah, so her parents finally put her out of the school and said, we have to send you to this private school. And there she meets Johnny because he ends up kicking a ball at her head. And yeah, from there he wants to be Superman and save her. I don't know, wasn't really feeling it. And then I also kind of got a glimpse into the next couple. I think this is the couple that everyone was so pressed to see their book. Their connection was kind of gross too. Like it just seemed so like, like what are we actually doing? Like nothing seemed genuine. This just honestly seemed like a Wattpad book that wasn't a Wattpad book you would remember. It's something if you want to pass the time, go ahead, read it. But for me, being this thick, you need to be 4 stars or above. I'm not gonna read a 3-star book. I don't even know if this 3 stars. Maybe I would give this 2.5. But I wouldn't read anything under 4 stars if it's this thick. That's just a waste of my time. So yeah, I did end up DNFing. And that's how we started July. And then next I read a book called I Hope This Finds You Well. I was really excited to read this book because they said, well, I'm saying the synopsis said that this book is a mixture of Anxious People and Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine. Anxious People is one of my favorite books of all time, and Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine is a really good book. It is like, and I feel like enough people don't really talk about that book, but it's very good. So when I saw that, I was like, ooh, this may be another book that I just love for the end of time. The book wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. I don't know why I paused like that. I made you think it was bad. I promise you the book is not bad. I think I gave it like 4 stars. This book was, maybe I gave it 3.75. I can see why they compared this to Eleanor Oliphant's Completely Fine, because the main character, Jolene, she kind of, you know, just doesn't get along with her it's not she doesn't get along with them. She just doesn't know how to vibe with them. So to them, she just looks socially awkward, which is similar to what was going on in Eleanor Oliphant's Completely Fine. And Anxious People, I don't really think this was anything like Anxious People. I think people honestly compare their books to Anxious People whenever the main character has a little bit of anxiety. No, Anxious People is so much more than that, but we're not going to get into that because if you let me talk about that book, I'll talk about it for an hour. So no. So this book follows Jolene, and you're basically following her at her job, and you're just seeing how she doesn't really know how to communicate with people. She overthinks every little detail, and honestly, I love that about her because I don't know, like she would look at the littlest thing and be like, oh my gosh, are they thinking this about me? Or are they thinking that about me? I can relate to that. So I love that about her. So Jolene ends up getting in trouble because she ends up sending an email to one of her coworkers, and she sends like the regular part in like black text, but then she thought she whited out the bottom where she was basically talking trash about her, but she didn't. So of course she got in trouble with HR, and they put her on probation where they have to like monitor her computer. But instead of doing that, they accidentally make a mistake where she can read everyone else's emails, their messages and stuff like that. So because her job is about to have layoffs, she uses that to her advantage. She reads everyone's emails, looks at their DMs and stuff, and then she tries to like become friends with her coworkers. She tries to become friends with her boss and like make everyone love her. And it works for a little while, but then of course, you plotting and scheming will never work in the end. So of course, everything crashes and burns. And I don't know, this was a really fun, I would consider this a buffer book. It was a fun little book to read. So yeah, you're just following Jolene as she starts to like make friends with her coworkers and realize like, hey, these are actual people with actual problems. I can connect with them on these levels instead of like looking at everyone as an enemy. And I don't know, it's just like really interesting to see. So I did enjoy this book. I think I either gave it 4 stars or 3.75 stars. Don't know, but it was a cute, fun book. And then I read Play Along by Liz Tomford. Listen. When it comes to the Windy City series, I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you and tell you it's the best series ever because I never read book 1 because I heard so many mixed reviews. Book 2 with Ryan Shay and Indy, oh my gosh, one of the best romances I ever read in my life. Caught Up, honestly, until I finished Play Along book 4, I didn't even realize that I finished Caught Up. I thought I DNF'd, but I actually did finish the book. That's how unmemorable that was for me. But book 4, Isaiah and Kennedy, I don't know, it's like she has like a teeter-totter imbalance. Like, girl, I wish you could just like keep this energy throughout the whole series, but no. Book 2 and book 4 are the best out of the series in my opinion. Keep in mind I didn't read book 1, so I can't really speak on that, but book 3, I don't know, that just was up for me. But book 4, Play Along, follows Isaiah and Kennedy. Isaiah is, whose brother is he? He is Cal's, is his name Cal? I really don't remember nothing about book 3, but he's the brother of the main guy from book 3. And Kennedy is the sports team's like, you know, therapist who like, you know, works them out and stuff like that to make sure like their bodies is good and everything. So she works for the team or whatever. So you're basically following them, and from the first time Isaiah met Kennedy, he literally said, that is gonna be my wife. We love a man who knows what he wants. So I don't know, like Isaiah, he was such a lover boy, and Kennedy, she needed someone to show her unconditional love and to just show her like, hey, you are the one I want, and he did that for her. So honestly, now I'm not gonna tell you it was better than book 2. Book 2, Ryan and Indy hold a special place in my heart, but it's like this: book 2, book 4, they were like right there, they're like touching, but I still love Ryan and Indy the most. But no, Isaiah and Kennedy, I love them and their communication. That's the thing, because Kennedy needed someone who would actually communicate with her instead of like down talking her or just expecting her to know like, oh, whatever, get out of my face, you should know what I mean. No, Isaiah actually took time to communicate with her. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. I didn't even think there was a third act breakup. That's how good their communication was. So basically the book starts off with Kennedy and Isaiah. Well, it starts off with the first time they met years ago. So it's cute that you got to see that little interaction. But the actual storyline starts off with them accidentally getting married in Vegas. So this is like a fake marriage thing, and they can't really divorce because if they divorce, Kennedy, because the guy who's her boss basically doesn't like her and he wants any reason to fire her. So if they divorce, he's basically gonna look at Kennedy and be like, let's get rid of her. And Isaiah, he's staying in it because he's in love with Kennedy. He's hoping by the end of the season she'll be in love with him. So go. So he's hoping by the end of the season that she'll be in love with him. So they both are in this marriage for two different reasons. But I don't know, it's just so cute to see him like try to get her to fall for him. But it's just so cute to see how Isaiah just like, you know, is so patient and calm with Kennedy, how he just like nourishes her. It's just so beautiful seeing that. And it's cute to see how Kennedy kind of grows within herself, how she starts to like love herself and understands her worth. This book is honestly beautiful. If you're looking for a good romance, I would recommend you this one. Like, if you haven't read book 2, read book 2 first and then come to this one, and I guess read book 3, I don't know, and maybe book 1, don't know, but book 2 and book 4, oh my gosh, Play Along is definitely up there, and I really enjoyed it. And I just want her to keep this energy throughout the entire series. That's all I'm asking. But Play Along, I gave it 5 stars, absolutely loved it. It was just great. And then I read Let the Games Begin. Now this one is actually an arc that I got at the beginning of the year. It came out in July. I think this might be my first physical arc that I've ever gotten, so that was really cool. But this book is actually about the Olympics, so I read it when the Olympics were going on, and that's was so cool. It like, I don't know, it gave me a different perspective of the Olympics because this is a romance. So you know, when people look at the Olympics, they're only like, okay, yeah, it's about people like the athletes accomplishing their dream and all that stuff. But then I don't know, this is kind of, it just gave me like a cutesy romance side to the Olympics. And me, I'm a hopeless romantic, so I needed that. So this book follows Olivia and Zeke as they go to the 2024 Olympics. Zeke is a silver medal athlete from the team Great Britain, and Olivia, she's there for her internship. She's like a go-getter, she's a hustler. She has her whole 5-year plan planned out. Everything's gonna go great. But when Olivia gets to the Olympic, what's it called? Olympic grounds? Olympic camp? I forgot what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. When she gets to the Olympic place, they basically tell her, oh, we gave her internship to this other guy, so we don't actually need you. So she basically ends up being like, basically like an assistant to anyone who needs anything. She just runs around helping. Like if there's vomit, she cleans up the vomit. If someone is locked out of their room, she goes to help them with that. So she just basically does stuff like that. And Zeke, he's training because he's in track and field. So he's just there training, and he's under a lot of pressure because he got silver last time. And now everyone wants him to get gold. I ended up giving it like a 3.75. This was just a cute, fun romance. And I think because I read this during the Olympics, it just made it that much better. So it was like a cute all around story, and I really liked it. And honestly, this is like a debut novel, so I'm excited to see how this author grows from here because this was good. So I want to see what you do next time. Then I read The Art of Catching Feelings, which surprisingly I enjoyed. And not to say that I thought this would be bad, because I read another book by Alicia Thompson, From Cold World with Love, and that book wasn't bad. It was just 100 pages too long. This one, however, it was the appropriate length. It was like the story ended when it needed to, but I couldn't give this 5 stars. I gave this 3.75 because it was good. The romance was there. I just realized these are all romances. Except for I Hope This Finds You Well. Ooh, we gotta switch that up next month. But yeah, so the romance was good. It was fine. But my whole thing is, okay, so let me tell you the storyline first so you can understand why I feel this way. So the whole storyline, it follows Daphne and Chris. So Chris is a professional baseball player, and Daphne is this woman who just went through a divorce. So she gets drunk, go to a baseball game, and she heckles Chris basically. And Chris, he's going through some stuff, so he gets heckled, he breaks down and cries, and she feels bad about it. So then she DMs him on Instagram thinking, you know, he won't even see it or respond, and she's basically apologized, but she forgets to identify herself. So he just thinks this is a random person who saw what happened and feels bad about it and is apologizing. But you know, then they start talking, and by the time they start talking for like, I don't know, like an hour, she realizes she forgot to identify herself, and then she's like, oh, it's kind of too late to do it, which I don't believe. You can always identify yourself, be like, oh, well, actually, I'm the person who heckled you. That would have just ended a lot of confusion, but you know, for the point of the plots, of course, she still feels like she can't say who she is, but they end up like connecting, talking, like they just basically text, they never talk on the phone. And this is why I don't kind of feel bad that he got catfished, because he literally asked to talk on the phone. And she said, oh, I can't talk on the phone right now because my walls are thin and my neighbors are gonna hear, but you can call me and you can talk and I'll just listen. What? If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is, but hey, he accepted that, so who am I to judge? So it's like stuff like that that was just weird that he accepted. I don't know, and he was so, I don't know, he like fell hard for her over text, which was weird. I think he was just trying to charm and bond with someone. I don't think the relationship was genuine, and that's why I gave it 3.75, because I don't feel like it was genuine. I feel like he just needed somebody and she just needed somebody, and they were both there and they said, hey, why not? I don't know, but it was a cute, fun, easy read. Definitely gave summer vibes because baseball season's in summer, I believe. I don't know much about baseball, but yeah, it was cute, fun, easy. So why not? Gave it 3.75. And the next book I read is 28 Summers. I actually read this when I went to Miami, so I'll post the Miami vlog soon, so you'll see that. Jake and Mallory end up meeting one summer in Nantucket because Mallory ends up moving to Nantucket because she inherits this like kind of cottage house thing from her great aunts, or just her aunt, I'm not sure. But yeah, Jake is Mallory's brother's friend, so that's how they end up meeting, that's how they end up knowing each other, and they basically just fall for each other that first weekend. And from there, they make a pact to come back, for him to come back every weekend to that cabin, and they spend those same days together. It was around Labor Day. They spend Labor Day time together in Nantucket and just enjoy themselves and be in their own little bubble. Now, here's the thing. When I was like on the plane reading this, I was so entranced, I was so in love. Then when I was on the beach reading it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just perfect. They were talking about the salt air. I was smelling the salt air. But when I got home, back to reality, I started analyzing this book. And maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's why I've been reading something. I shouldn't be reading books at home. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. Who knows? But I started to overanalyze it. And I realized he's actually a piece of trash. Because the whole time that he's sitting there flirting with Mallory, doing all this stuff. By the way, I DNF'd on page 102. I probably should have told you that. He had a whole girlfriend, a whole long time girlfriend. And okay, this isn't even really a spoiler because you find this out in the first like 40 pages. So, but like this is teeny tiny. It's not really a spoiler. I don't consider it a spoiler. It's just something about one of the. It's whatever. If you consider it a spoiler, cover your ears real quick. I don't freaking know. But yeah, so the girl he's with, Ursula was his sister's best friend. His sister ended up, so she has something terminal. So the whole time Ursula was there for her while she went through her terminal sickness. They were like best friends, always there for her. So that's why he's latched onto her, because he's like, oh, she's a part of my childhood. She was there for my sister through all that stuff. But then you're doing her dirty like that. When you look at it from the point of view of Ursula, he's trash. Mallory's trash because Mallory dang well know about Ursula. And they still just doing this whole thing where like, oh, for these 3 days or 4 days, we're going to be in our little bubble and act like nothing else exists. I don't know. The story starts off 20 summers later, and Mallory's son calls Jake, who is married to Ursula, and Ursula's about to become president of the United States. Well, she is president of the United States, and Mallory is about to. So yeah, that's how the story starts off. That's the prologue or whatever. And then you start to go back to the flashbacks and see each summer with them and see how they kind of met and stuff. The writing wasn't bad. It was a fun, easy book, and I understand why people like her books for the summer because it was very light and easy to read. I think I want to try another book by her next summer, but I don't know. I couldn't finish it because when I actually started to analyze it, he was trash. But I wanted to finish it so bad because I saw someone read this book, and by the end of it, they were in tears. They were in tears. And you know, I love to cry at a book. If you're not crying at a book, did you really read it? Like, what happened? But I just couldn't get through it. But I do want to read something else by her. Do I have another book by her? Or maybe one day I'll come back to this. Maybe next summer I'll come back to this and read it only when I'm on the beach or something. Because once I got home, this book just became like, really? I don't know. But yeah, if I was to finish this whole book, I feel like it would have been 4 stars. Like, even on the back says the sweeping love story. It says it's her best book. So, you know, I do think I'm gonna come back to this one day. So this isn't actually a DNF. This is a soft DNF. We're gonna come back to it one day. It's fine. And now time for some of the books that I hauled. And let me ask you this quick question. So I got these from Books A Million, right? I always see the girlies, like, whenever people go book shopping, and I'm not talking about like independent bookstores. Independent bookstores, we love them, we support them. But when you go to like the big bookstores like Barnes & Noble and stuff, people always choose Barnes & Noble over Books A Million. I like Books A Million. It just feels cozier because it's more like, I don't want to say crowded, but you know, Barnes & Noble is more like minimalist. Like, it's so much space. I don't know. Books A Million feels more like a library and it reminds me of my childhood going to the library. So I like it better. But yeah. Let's go to the packages first because we got packages. The first book is called A Song to Drown Rivers, which is actually crazy because I was just on Goodreads and it was talking about the books of the fall, and this was one of the fantasies on there. So yeah. So if I say these names wrong, I'm sorry. And if you know how to pronounce them, please tell me so I don't keep saying it wrong. But it says Zishi's beauty is seen as a blessing to the villages of Yu as she is fated to marry well. When Zishi draws the attention of the young military advisor Fan Li, he presents her with a rare opportunity to use her beauty as a weapon. With this kind of power, they could topple the rival kingdom of Wu, improve the lives of their people, and avenge her sister's murder. Ooh. All Zishi has to do is infiltrate the enemy palace as a spy, seduce their immoral king, and weaken them from within. Wait a minute. Okay, so basically she's like, you know, just one of the most beautiful people. So someone come up to her, what's his name, Family. He comes up to her and say, hey, we can use your beauty as a weapon. She got seduced. But it's crazy. Wait, okay. It says, inspired by the legend of Zishi, one of the famous 4 beauties of ancient China. I've never read a fantasy where it was like based in China. I am loving that. Oh my gosh. And look how, you know what? This print, I love this print. It's dark, it's bold. I love it. Okay, how many pages? And look how big that numbers are. It's little things. It's the little things. My gosh. It seems really good. I don't know if there's any romance. I don't think it's romance. I think it's just straight fantasy. This seems really good. You know, fall's coming up. Fantasy time. So definitely want to read this. And you guys, let me know if you want me to do a fall TBR video because I'm most likely going to do that instead of doing a September TBR video. So yeah, and I also can do a fall recommendations video because I do have a lot of fall recs. Let's do this package. It says, to the world, they were a scandal. First of all, that just reminded me, I need to watch the show Scandal. I've never seen it, but you know, I watched How to Get Away with Murder, I watched Bridgerton, so you know, and I watched Grey's Anatomy, so you know, I've watched Shonda Rhimes universe stuff. Like, I know how she does storylines, and it's always good. So I'm very excited to see Scandal. Oh, it said, oh wait, hold on. It says, to the world, they were a scandal, to each other an obsession. Stop. Why are you doing that to me? Okay. Oh, it has a little bit. I should have opened this earlier. I've got it, like, literally, I got this probably like 2 months ago, and I'm just now opening it. It says Team USA. Oh, I could have been wearing that for the Olympics. But that's cute. And then it has stickers to Shaw and Rocha. Is it Rocha or Rocha? I'm gonna say Rocha because that sounds closer to Rochelle. So yeah, Shaw and Rocha. Yeah, look at that. That's so cute. And then it has a whole playlist. Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. When does this book come out? So that I can know and I can do it in a reading vlog for y'all. Because this is actually, wait. How am I, see, that's why I love doing book hauls, because I get so excited about the books. I just have the highest expectations. She might not have a famous name, funding, or her family support, but Katrina Shaw has always known that she was destined to become an Olympic skater. Well, oh, that's why it says Team USA. They're about Olympics too. I could have read this during the Olympics too. Ooh. When she meets Heath Rocha, is that how I would pronounce it? Rocha, a lonely kid stuck in the foster care system, their instant connection makes them a formidable duo on the ice. Clinging to skating and each other to escape their turbulent lives, Kat and Heath go from childhood sweethearts to champion ice dancers, captivating the world with their scorching chemistry, rebellious style, and roller coaster relationship. Yes, no, I remember this book because they asked me if I wanted this book because they said it was similar. They didn't say it was similar, but they said it gave the vibes of Daisy Jones and the Six. Now y'all know that is one of my favorite books because the obsession that they had for each other, but they couldn't be together. And that's what this is giving. It's giving like they're obsessed, but something's just tearing that. I didn't even show you the actual book. Here's the actual book. My gosh, I'm telling you everything but showing the actual book. So look at it. Oh, look at it. Look at this. It says, go right ahead, enjoy the show, but don't fool yourself into thinking you know me. By now I've heard it all. Katrina Shaw is, Katrina Shaw is a B, a diva, a sore loser, a manipulative liar, cold-blooded, a cheater, a criminal, an attention whore, an actual whore. Call me what you want. I don't give a damn anymore. My story is mine, and I'll tell you it the same way I skated it, in my own way, on my own terms. It's giving Daisy Jones and the Six mixed with Carrie Soto is back, because Carrie Soto, she was like, boom, I know what I want. I know how to focus and get what I need, and people can hate me for it. But then it's also giving Daisy Jones and the Six because Daisy and Billy were like obsessed with each other. I didn't even tell you the title. It's called The Favorites. I'm terrible at this. It's called The Favorites. Hopefully that's not the way. Oh, it doesn't come out till January 14th, 2025. Okay, so I can't do it in a reading vlog anytime soon. And I have to, because I want to read this with you guys. This, I feel like, is going to shake me to my core. I want to read this with you guys. So I'm going to have to wait. And now my heart is broken. But that's fine, because this, The Favorites, look at that cover. And it has short chapters. The chapters are literally like 2 pages. Okay, this is why they said Daisy Jones and Six. It's interview style. Okay, a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't care for the interview style. Daisy Jones 6. First of all, that interview style 8. Like, it just engrossed you in the story. It felt like you were watching behind the music. Now, I know a lot of people said they listened to the audiobook because they had like different voices or whatever. Hopefully this book has that, but I didn't listen to the audiobook. I read it and I was entranced. So no, this, y'all see how excited I'm getting? Wait a minute. Oh my gosh. Listen, I've said this in my videos before. I love books told in parts. Why is this told in parts? Is this gonna be my favorite book? Oh my gosh. To the world, they were a scandal. To each other, an obsession. First of all, that line, it's so, how dare you? How dare you? No, I love this, absolutely, my gosh. I'm gonna have to make a TikTok about that. Y'all know I haven't been on TikTok forever, but no, this, let's go. The 2 books that I bought myself. So those 2 books were sent to me, and these are the 2 that I bought myself. I got a novel love story by Ashley Poston ever since reading The 7-Year Slip, because I already had The Dead Romantics, but I DNF'd it. But after reading The 7-Year Slip, love that book to the core. I had to go back and read The Dead Romantics, and that was just like a cute, fun romance. This one, I don't know how this is gonna be. It says whimsical, romantic, and packed with charm. So from what I remember, this is about a girl who, let me see. So this book follows Elsie, and I'm assuming she got left at the altar because it said she likes fictional men because they don't leave you at the altar. I've read a couple books where they do, so don't be too sure about that. But yeah, so she basically, you know, stuffs herself into her books, you know, just to forget about everything. And then her book club is having an annual retreat. So she goes off to the retreat, and basically her car breaks down in a town that is basically like the one out of her favorite book. So she literally breaks down in the town of her favorite book. You know, Ashley Poston's books always have a bit of magic realism in it. So yeah, that completely makes sense. And yeah, she is there and she's recognizing all the characters and the places, but there's one guy she can't place. Like, she doesn't know who this guy is because he wasn't in the actual story. I'm assuming the love blossoms between them, because who else would have blossomed between? But I bought this purely off of the strength that Ashley Poston wrote it. After The 7-Year Slip, in my eyes, she can do no wrong. Now this is the one I'm really excited for. The Love of My Afterlife. First of all, I bought these books probably a month and a half ago, and honestly, I don't know why I didn't read this as soon as I got it, but I was waiting to read this in a reading vlog, so that may happen soon. But this book, first of all, the cover, the colors, everything about it is just beautiful. So this follows what's her name, Delphi. So Delphi basically, and then she goes to the afterlife or whatever, right? And then in the afterlife, she meets this guy. She's like, oh my gosh, this guy's the love of my life, or the love of my afterlife. And she basically gets put back into the world. I guess she comes back alive. I don't know how, like the inner workings of that. I haven't read the book, but yeah, she comes back alive, and I guess they make her a deal where like if you can find him in the real world, then you can actually be with him, but if not, then you have to just like live without him or something like that. So I guess she's basically looking for him in the real world after meeting him in the afterlife, and I don't know, this all just seems very confusing, but I know that it's gonna flow perfectly because I've heard nothing but good reviews about this book. So I'm really excited about this. The cover is beautiful. I feel like I'm gonna love it, and it's only 350 pages. 350 pages for a romance, solid, love it. So yeah, the love of my afterlife. So yeah, those are all the books in my wrap up, and also all the little books in my mini haul. And if you read any of the books in the wrap up and you felt different or you felt the same, honestly, let me know, tell me, so I don't feel too crazy about these ratings, because honestly, I feel like I was rating kind of harsh. I don't know, maybe. But also, if you have read any of these books in the haul, obviously not the ARCs, maybe the ARCs, I don't know. Yeah, if you read any of them, please tell me what you thought, especially this one, because I think this one is going to be the one I read next. I think I want to wait to read a novel love story until like October, because it's given, well, actually they're both given like paranormal, spooky. I don't know. But yeah, if you read any of them, let me know. And as always, thank you for watching. If you haven't, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.